Hello and welcome back to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. So, in the meantime, between episodes, I went and laid out a little brick factory production line, and instead of hauling coal to the brick factory, I just set up a separate production for it since, well, I can do it without much labor cost to it. So let's go ahead and get that built up. We're gonna do 40,000 in conveyor belts. I have a couple of conveyor engines to transfer from the coal processing plant to the brick factory, and also another automated mine. Hopefully these automated mines work really well. I haven't tried them out yet. Probably should have before I devoted so much effort into depending on them, essentially. So while that goes ahead and builds up, there's another mod I've placed that I'm going to try out, and that is a small refinery. It only does 2.5 tons of fuel, but it also gives us some bitumen, which should be enough bitumen to supply a asphalt factory or two, whatever it may be. I'm just going to be importing oil for it for now, once I do get it up and running, and that is. And let's take a look here. I've also taken down the numbers of workers, so I know just how many people I'm going to need to send to each of these different sections. I've got them broken down. This is going to be gravel section, this will be coal, this will be bricks, and this over here is the prefab section. And then also I'm going to have to add in the refinery section because that one does still require 50 workers, even for such a small production of fuel and bitumen. I wanted to see how it would work. It didn't seem very practical, but hey. Some other mods I took a look at is the diesel plant. Where is that at? Oh, look at this. We've also got a bitumen power plant. That actually doesn't seem too bad for the amount of power produced versus the consumption of bitumen. Now, why does it have a storage for fuel and oil? That seems strange. Okay. Here, diesel power plant. This requires 2.5 tons of fuel and produces a measly 200 megawatts of power per day. So that would be the entire production of this little refinery to produce very little power. Now, there was another small power plant, a little coal power plant, and you might be looking at those numbers and think, yeah, that's not too bad. Well, that is kind of bad. It is tiny. It's nice if you need a little bit of power in an area you don't want to run a bunch of cables to. Let's take a look. What does that cost? 58,000. It's not cheap either. But anyway, if you do the maths on the consumption to production and also then compare that to the vanilla coal power plant, you will find that this is just over half as efficient. Meaning this is bad. It's bad. If it was to be on par as far as efficiency with the vanilla coal power plant, the consumption at maximum production would need to be dropped to about 6 tons of coal, or increase the output, double the output or half the input, and then you'd have about the same efficiency as the vanilla power plant. So it seems the vanilla power plant is still the best option we've got, because yeah, I already showed that enormous coal power plant that is just a complete waste, unfortunately. It is a very cool idea. It just doesn't work. So we're gonna wait out the night here, and here comes morning. What am I gonna do now? I know what I'm gonna do now. I've got to build up a city somewhere to supply workers, maybe multiple smaller ones, or one big one. Anyway, we're looking at just over 700 workers right now. Well, with that refinery, we're looking at about 800 workers required to operate these, plus the people to operate the support structure, so about 1,000 people if we were to do one city. Not very big, not too bad, nice and small. And the other thing I need to do is I need to connect roads. And I would like to also... because I don't want to just use these dirt roads. I do like using them to I will use them wherever I can, such as connection roads to like engine transfers and stuff that will only ever be used by fire trucks. For that, they're perfectly fine because they're free. Other than that, I would really like to upgrade them, or at least build a redundancy in the road system so I can have construction companies upgrade the roads. As like you can see here, I've placed some light post roads to the connections from this little tiny modded bus stop where I'm going to have the workers dropped off at to go to these various coal processing plants. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and start laying down the infrastructure to connect all these different regions and put in a city somewhere. Alright, so I've got the road network laid in, connecting all the various districts, and we're connected to this one export custom house. Let's see, let's go ahead and take a look here. Now, I told you earlier, I did the numbers, and gonna need around 1,000 people, right? So over here at the gravel section, the only people we're gonna need here, and this is not including like fire stations and stuff like that, I'll add that on later. This is the only one we need. We need 20 people per shift, that's 60 people in total to operate that. These quarries do not require workers. You can just buy a mechanism and good to go. Now, if we move over to the coal area, we've got the automated mines. Otherwise, each one of these mines would have been 250 people. They would have been spaced out more. It would have been a bit more messy. However, we can throw 8 mechanisms in there. We don't need any workers. That's a 97% quality of source, 93, and this one's only 63, but that's only running the one brick factory at the moment, while feeding into the one processor, which is feeding into the one factory. But we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, back over here at the coal section, we're looking at, in these processors, 15 people per shift. That's a total of 45 people each processor. We have 3 of them, giving us a total of, what is that, 135 people? Yeah, 135. Okay, so 135 people here, 60 over at the gravel. Now if we jump over to the prefabs, over here we're going to be looking at this gravel processor with 20 people per shift, 60 people in total. The cement plant with 30 people per shift, 90 people in total. And then the prefab factory, 65 per shift, 195 in total. All 3 of those combined giving us 345 people. And I did get rid of that little refinery there. I'm going to do that somewhere else, some other time. We're not worrying about that at the moment. And last but not least, we got the little brick production area. Over here at the bricks, we're looking at 15 people per shift in the processor, giving us a total of 45. And yeah, that's a total of 45. Is 65 per shift here? No. Oh, no, it's 75. My math is off. Son of a... Alright, well, 75 per shift. That'd be what, 150, 225 in total. Along with the 45, that's going to be 230, 270. 270 in total over here. Okay. So yeah, I guess we're looking at over 1,000 people now. Closer to 1,200 or so. And then plus whatever fire departments we have to throw in. I think if we were able to run a road between here, we could put a fire department up on top of the mountain, which would be kind of silly, but eh. And this is going to be expanded upon much more down in here eventually, so it probably couldn't hurt to throw in a little fire station here. Another one over here. Probably a big one right here, because I'm planning on putting a city in right down here. Because over here we've got a bunch of oil. So otherwise I was going to do it down by the lake. Not going to do that because that's where we're going to have a bunch of oil coming in. We're going to go ahead and put a city over here. So yeah, that fire station somewhere around here. That'll cover this area and the city. And then we're going to need another one over around here somewhere. So that's the plan. Yeah. Between episodes, I'm thinking I'm going to build up that city. I don't know, I might give you a time-lapse build of it. Maybe that'll just be like a short bonus episode as the time-lapse build of the city and getting some of the routes running. Some of the buses going, some of the dump trucks, some of the excavators, all that good stuff. You know? As of right now, what are we going to export? I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do for cash right now. I haven't gotten that far. I'm still just laying the foundation, and I'm just over $2 million, or 2 million rubles into this. Just over 2 million rubles invested, and I've got, what, like 2/3 of the building materials planned out, prepared to go. Because the other things we gotta do some steel, which is gonna mean, which is setting up steel. Even if we do the, there's a mod for a small steel factory, which might be the way to go to get started. It's not that efficient in terms of workers. I haven't crunched the numbers on the resources. I'll have to take a look at that. We'll look at that when that comes up. And, yeah, we gotta do the steel, which that's easily gonna be a 1 million ruble investment to get that running, but that's a huge industry to have. That's a good one to have. And then after that, we also need timber. And the reason I haven't done timber is because I like to fill in gaps for that industry. Like if I find an area where there's just nothing really that I can do with it, which, I mean, this is kind of this is a huge corridor right here. Like this is, it would be a bad idea to try and build a city here because of how uneven the terrain is. You start plateauing that out, it's going to look like crap. On the other hand, it is essential to have transportation routes running through here in the way we have things built up. Like, this is a huge connection we need to have. And because of that, we're also going to need to leave a lot of room for rails running through there because 1, maybe 2, or even 3 roads running through here is what's going to be going down in the future. And probably as many as 4 rail lines going through there. That's probably how big of a connection that's going to be, because we've got our gravel production down here for stuff to throw around everywhere, and we got coal just over here, which if we didn't want to send all of that through that little corridor to our expansions down here and over this way, we're either going to be going through a mountain or we're going to be going way around, and going way around, I don't think, is a better option than that. However, going through this mountain here might be a better option. At least to get stuff over this way towards Pritin and Florilstock. We'll have to see how that goes, though. I don't have everything planned out. I like to plan as I go, you know? It just kind of makes things feel a little more natural. Because I didn't plan on putting this here, but I like it. We've got production on both sides of the mountain there. That's awesome. I love it. Same over here. I did not plan that at all. In fact, when I was planning this out, because I did do a little planning on this, I intended to have all this stuff over here, which I could still do that. I could just kind of duplicate what I've got there. If I need to double down on my prefab production, that might be what I do. Although this does have room for expansion too, much like I did with the coal. I could throw a few more gravel quarries in there, and if I need another processor, there's room I can tie it in here. And I might have to do a little bit of reworking of this in order to get both of those to feed into that and to feed out. But off of there, I can run another conveyor of the gravel out, feed into there. Probably have plenty of cement. Well, I know we have plenty of cement production to go ahead and feed another prefab factory or 10. Or no, I just did the, yeah, that's still, I did the vanilla, but it's still plenty. I could feed a bunch more prefab factories off that one cement plant. Oh, I did forget roads here. I haven't tied these in, haven't tied these in. I got to do all those roads still too. Well, anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you for watching. As always, have a good one, and I'll hopefully have a little bit of a city thrown together for you next time you see me.